today we have with us, Jeri and her fiance Ron, and they're going to talk about Jeri's journey with breast cancer. So, Jeri, can you tell us when you were diagnosed and what happened after that?
I was diagnosed in June of 2010, and I went through conventional chemo and radiation.
Wow. So what did that do to your body?
Well, destroyed the body and the confidence and a lot of things that go along with womanhood.
What kind of support did your doctors give you during this time? Did you feel that they were trying to do what was best for you, or what did you feel from your doctors and your medical practitioners?
They were doing what was best for them. I felt,
Wow.
Because I did a lot of research, and they, in fact, when I was diagnosed, I had just had a mammogram that came back with good results, that there was nothing there for me to, come back next year. Everything was great. And then I discovered it a week later, and it was visual, and so then I had a second opinion. Then it turned out that I had 3 tumors, and it was stage 3, and in the lymph nodes. And so it can, changes your course in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so can you tell us a little bit about your journey with alternative treatments, if that's
There wasn't any that I
all?
researched and was able to find, and it was always the chemo and the
So
the
your
radiation.
doctors never really told you about any alternative options?
Never. There was no alternative.
Wow.
It was just chemo and radiation, and then follow-ups, and which I still continue to follow up every 3 months with my oncologist. And then it was shortly after I think it was 2012, is when I saw Ty and Charlene's documentary, the first one, and then I started following them, and then I started realizing, and they started sharing all these alternative doctors and the truth, and there was more alternatives to cancer treatments and people that were actually surviving breast cancer, which I couldn't go back and change what I did, but I can move forward and take what I've learned from them and make changes to my life, and which I have. And I'm very thankful for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear. So, Ron, can you tell us about your perspective, how you've been able to support her on this journey to fight cancer and live a healthy life, what you've seen and what you've been able to do?
Well, I guess the first thing I ought to say is very eye-opening and humbling. When you're around someone or with someone that has cancer, and especially with what Jeri had and what she still fights to this day, is like she said, it's like I couldn't imagine myself having that same type surgery in a masculine way that would put me in that mindset that I'm losing my manhood. And so that was eye-opening. Watching her struggle with dealing with doctors. There's doctors in my family, so I was kind of open-minded but closed at the same time. But after this experience, I can't say that I trust doctors 100% anymore. I'll go at it with an open mind, and I'll always look for options other than that. Jeri's had it extremely hard, in my opinion. And it's also not just the cancer, it's also the procedures that she has to endure for the operations and the surgeries that she has to have in order to save her life. Mm-hmm. And when you're faced with that, you've got to be mentally strong. And then once she completes that, then there's a recovery phase that every person is going to go through. And we're currently dealing with that today, this very day. And it's not from the cancer per se, it's from the procedures that she had that were a result of the cancer.
Wow. Wow. So, Jeri, what can you tell us about what you've learned, maybe how your life has been changed or impacted positively or negatively by this experience that you've gone through?
Don't always trust everything your doctor tells you. That, it is their opinion, but if you, the internet is there for you to research and there is information out there, and if you know your sources, and there's credible resources like Ty and Bollinger at The Truth About Cancer. They've got a lot of integrity and very credible, and they share and they offer a lot of resources to help people with that are going through and struggling with cancer. Options, there's options out there, and there is a cure for cancer, and you do not have to have chemo or radiation for that.
Wow.
You do not.
What encouraging words.
Yes.
And Ron, would you have any words of inspiration for someone who might be having a loved one who's suffering through what Jeri did, or might have to be standing beside someone who's facing such a big obstacle right now?
Be ready to man up or woman up. Bottom line. Being a caregiver for someone, it's not as simple as a title or something you'd print on paper at a facility to let them know what your responsibilities are for that person. You got to be mentally strong, and you got to be thick-skinned, and you got to really care about that person. And if you do those things, it's not that hard. But it is what it is because it's very eye-opening. When you see the results of some of these surgeries, I thought I had seen some things that were pretty tough, but what I saw her go through, I think I even said it to Jeri. I said, I used to think men were tougher than women. And then I used to hear people say, well, women give birth to children. And then I think about, well, men do this, that, and the other. But after seeing what she went through with this cancer and these surgeries, there's just no way. There's just no way. Women can endure a lot more than men can, in my opinion. And she's one tough lady, and I'm amazingly proud of her. She's done great.
Wow, well, you're one tough couple, and this story is very inspirational. I'm sure it'll be really encouraging to a lot of people. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you.
Your cancer journey, about where you've been and what you think about where you were and where you're going, where you'd like to be.
I was sent to the emergency room January of 2014. They thought that my appendix was bursting. The doctor did a CT scan and found out when he came back in the room that I had a tumor the size of a golf ball inside me.
Ooh.
After that, I was scheduled to meet an oncologist, which I did. I was then scheduled for surgery, which happened on April 14th of 2014. They did a full hysterectomy. It took 6 to 8 weeks to heal from that, and then they wanted me to proceed with 6 rounds of chemotherapy, Taxol, carboplatin, and Neulasta. I started the chemo. I had very adverse reactions to it all. The Taxol, my toenails were coming off the nail bed. I had neuropathy. I started shuffling to the bathroom. I couldn't walk. My toes were numb, no feeling. And it scared me. I was young. And why was this happening? Neurologist, I asked them, would my feeling in my legs come back? And they said, oh, well, it might not. We don't know. And I thought, oh my gosh. So the Neulasta, they give that drug to you, and what it's supposed to do is replicate more white blood cells, which fight infection, but it's pulled out from your bone marrow in your bones. So basically you feel like a semi-truck ran over you. Your whole skeleton hurts. So that's not a good feeling. It's just painful. I had chemo every 3 weeks. And the first few days was okay. By the third day, I was down on the couch. I couldn't move. Bald. I did take a pill, Amend, which I luckily didn't throw up my food, but that was the one good thing that happened. And literally by the 4th round of chemotherapy, I was rushed to the emergency room. I went into anaphylactic shock. My throat closed. They kept me in the hospital for 3 days. They said that I was dehydrated, and I was released and told, go finish 2 more rounds And I went home and started crying, and I just said, I don't want to die like this. So I stopped all the chemotherapy, and that was 4 years ago. I'm still here. And it took me 3 years to basically build up my stomach again, because I had trouble. After chemotherapy, you're basically like an AIDS patient. You have no immune system. What the chemotherapy does is it kills everything, the good, bad, and the ugly. So you're walking around with no immune system. If somebody coughs, you're susceptible. I was rushed twice. I caught the flu, which was dangerous because I didn't have an immune system to fight it. So I was hospitalized for the flu. But you kind of have to live secluded from the general public until your immune system comes back. So that took a long time. And like I said, after 3 years, I felt like I could eat again properly. I could digest my food. I wasn't having gastro problems. So that's like 7 years out of my life.
Wow. Well, do you feel like you're in a better place now?
Much better. I've gained weight. I probably could get a little more exercise in. I do watch my diet. I drink a lot of water. My faith is important.
You feel
I
like
learned to
you've learned
forgive
from it?
quicker. I don't hold anger inside me. You can have toxic emotions. It can make the body sick.
Yeah, the stress can really actually
Stress
affect your
can
body
do a
very
lot to the
adversely.
body. And I would say, even today, from an early child, I've never been able to watch television like horror shows and things that affected my emotions on television. I limit to what goes into my ear gate and my eye gate. And we have to, even as Christians, we have to do that. So, if you put filth in, you're going to get filth out. So that has to do with the whole entire lifestyle. If you're living a pure life, which means eating well, that includes your thought life, that includes your faith walk with God, that includes reading the Word of God, that includes forgiving others, that includes applying the Word of God to your life.
I'm from California. This is my husband, David.
Hi.
When I was 6 months pregnant, I was diagnosed with a melanoma, skin cancer. And during that time, I didn't really know what my options were. So my mom had sent me a video of Ty Bollinger and his truth about cancer. And so I had started watching that and really getting informed about the alternative path that you can do when hit with such big news. And so at the time, I didn't really have too many options other than go in and get surgery to remove the melanoma. So I had done that, and after that I was big on preventative care. So during that surgery they had actually removed all of the melanoma cancer cells, but their big thing was it could come back, and so what to do next. And so during that time watching his stuff, I was really able to connect with him on a point that I said, hey, I do have my options. But another big thing was I want to keep my body regular, and I want to keep it just as healthy as possible so that it would not come back. And so that's when I started taking the supplements daily in order to support my body and my immune system. And it's been 2 years actually since they diagnosed me with melanoma cancer that I am cancer free. And so yeah, that's huge for me because I know that my body has the ability to do many things once it's supported with the proper stuff. And so I do the organic greens daily, I do the detox, and I make sure that my body is staying healthy and regular. I do diet and exercise and everything else that is recommended to keep your body regular and to allow it to do what it's made to do. And that's to ward off the disease. And so I am now 2 years free of cancer. My baby girl's healthy. She was actually in the womb when that happened. And so cool thing is it didn't spread to her, and I have had no sign of it at all. And so, yeah. So praise God.
Yeah. So cancer is a game changer, right, for anybody. When my wife was diagnosed with the cancer, we didn't know what type of cancer it was at first. Very scary, regardless of what type of cancer you have.
Yeah.
But it was the one and only cancer that could actually spread through the placenta to actually get to the baby.
Yeah.
And so she was 6 months pregnant, but just kind of the miracle behind that is that she was pregnant, and because of the pregnancy, they found the cancer. So if she didn't get pregnant, at the time she did, the cancer would have spread to the vitals, and then it would have got to a place where they couldn't actually remove it. So the miracle story is that she got pregnant just at the right time, and our baby actually saved her life because the baby came at the right time. So cancer is definitely scary, but at the same time for us, what we realize is that, hey, we need to reevaluate our lifestyle and how we choose to use my wife's or how we choose to care for my wife's health. And so having the right supplements, products, and we'll say holistic approach to getting organics in her body was so important for us. And so what we use now opposed to what we didn't use then has been a lifestyle change, but it's been for the better. And the cool thing is that we get to pass on that gift to our daughter, and she can stay healthy and hopefully not have any form of cancer as well.
Yeah, and we want to give thanks to God because we believe He played a big part in that. And so, but He also wants us to love our bodies, and we are a temple. And so that's huge for us, is to not only was He there with us during that time, we believe that now it's our responsibility to then go and take care of ourselves, because it's we do play a part in it. No matter if something changes or it comes back, there can always be something. And so we do play a part in how our body works, and I think that's a big responsibility. So we like getting the proper
Wow, what an amazing story. I don't think congratulations quite covers it.
Yeah.
But Brittany, would you have any advice for people who might currently be struggling with what you face, and who might be in the same position as you were and David? What would you say to those who might actually have a loved one who is in your position, who might be watching someone struggle and suffer? So Brittany?
Yeah, I feel that when you get hit with the news that you have cancer, you automatically think, okay, I need to go to the doctors, and what type of chemo, and get me on a plan, let's just start doing this. But to know that there are options is huge. And I think with our generation and our age, we want to fight for the truth. And that's why we love watching Ty's podcasts and what he really is about. And the truth about cancer is really an awareness. It's a global quest to bring the truth to the light about alternative options to support your body into doing what it's made to do. And that is to fight disease. And so if you're suffering and you feel like there's no possible way, or if you're doing the chemo and you're going to the doctors and you think, hey, this isn't working anymore, well, guess what? There's an option. And so praise God that I did not have to go through any more options, because I think the Lord, had really taken care of my body, but also that I learned how to do preventative stuff. But know that there is another route. And the other route is that foods can do wonders for you. Foods, supplements, and things that are from the earth, they allow your body to do the natural healing process that it needs to do. And so it's a good support. And so prayer is great, and so is your body healing it, or your body.
Yeah. It's great.
The power to heal is yours.
I know what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, so
Is that it? Or?
that's good.
Yeah.
I love it. I would just add to that, on top of that.
Okay.
Which is to say that was great. Cancer is obviously it's not natural, right? So it's a distortion of the cell, and so our body, we're not supposed to have cancer, and so putting, or at least having the ability to put things back into your body that is natural. We're not supposed to have cancer, and so we were created not to have distortion in our cells.
Imbalance.
But because we live in a world that is a fraction of what it was intended to be, that we need to be good managers or stewards over our bodies in order to put the proper life back into our body. And so in food we have the proper life balance, so we get to put that in our body. So I would say that for anyone that's out there that is going through cancer, one, you need to know that it was never this was never the intention of what we were created to be. 2 is that we do serve a God that does miracles. 3, that we have the ability to steward our bodies well, because we're created in the image of God to put things back into our bodies that actually can re-regulate itself. And so having the awareness and knowing that and having the knowledge is key, but also applying it and taking, I think, a 360-degree approach to how you do life, and realizing that health has to be a value of how you do life, so that your body can be natural and your body can heal itself with the things that we have here on this planet that's been put here for us to be good stewards over our bodies. So yeah, there's hope, and it's just getting the truth out of what our bodies were meant to be and what we can do to prevent the things that we have now currently as a result of.
And that's why we love the videos, because he does all the groundwork for you. I spent hours in the research and actually stopped when I found that he was doing that. And I'm like, hey, this works great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been a life changer for us. So.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Brittany and David. You have an amazing, inspirational story.
Thank you for watching the last 2 episodes of Global Health News, featuring some inspiring interviews from cancer survivors. To end the show today, Charlene and I would like to share a few more closing comments with you from some of the cancer survivors who recently visited our home to share their inspiring stories. So please enjoy, and please share the Global Health News with your family and your friends. Until next time, God bless you.
How do you feel about your interview, your experience today with Truth About Cancer?
I am overly joyed to be once again standing in the lovely home of Ty and Charlene Bollinger and their beautiful daughter.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just amazed at how God strategically orders our steps. But He's also a God of your prayers and dreams. I just thank God for choosing me to be able to be a part of the film for The Truth About Cancer. I thank God for The Truth About Cancer because it took the fear of reoccurrence away from me. It gives me the food that I need emotionally, spiritually, and physically. The Truth About Cancer is an organization that lets you know the holistic, simple, everyday things that we can do to prevent, cure, and treat cancer. After interviewing with them, it was amazing. I feel like I'm on a cloud. It is such an honor, and it's such a God-given blessing and opportunity to be trusted. To share with others that cancer is not always a death sentence, and it's never a punishment. But God has a purpose and a plan even through our pain. So please know that God has you covered all the way around. It is normal to be fearful. It is normal to be afraid. And though the diagnosis was a surprise to us, or maybe a surprise to you, it's not to God. He has you covered, and all healing comes from Him. Remember, be still, take deep breaths, and believe in God, because He has a plan for your life.
Tell us your name again and what you're doing here.
Okay. So hello, my name is Gigi, my nickname is Gigi, and I'm here at the Truth About Cancer filming, and I'm super excited to be here today because today I had a chance to share my story, my miracle story, the way I healed from stage 4 ovarian cancer and without any traditional treatment. And I'm a living proof how when you align your body with the right methods and the right bringing the balance back to your body, the body heals itself miraculously. And I'm so grateful to be part of this movement to educate people and let people know they have a chance besides doing chemotherapy, because there is a lot of good things out there right now that people can use. And when you heal your emotions on the physical, mental, spiritual level, everything is shifting, and I'm a living proof of that. I am cancer-free for over 3 years now, and I feel better than ever. and I'm helping a lot of people to do the same. So I'm super grateful for God put me on this path.
I mean, I was clearly nervous. I really had never done anything like this before, but I have to say, Charlene made me feel incredibly at ease.
She's good at that.
She was phenomenal. The photographers were fantastic. And I just have nothing but gratitude in my heart right now. You know, I know from the bottom of my heart that if I had known about the truth about cancer before, that my path would have been very differently, but I also know that my path is exactly what it was supposed to be. I send anyone who comes to me and doesn't know where to start to the truth about cancer. I say start here, and this could answer any questions you have, and just keep an open mind, because it's not really the path that the medical profession is shooting us towards, but it's really the path that's best for our bodies. You know, I really feel like getting to share my story is not about me. It's about just one person out there who may decide to step up and heal naturally and let the body do what it's designed to do, instead of beating it down and doing something that it makes it harder and harder to recover from. So I just have nothing but gratitude for what you guys have put together here. It has just touched my heart in so many ways. And it's the platform that I just wish everybody could go to and just look at that gets any sort of a diagnosis.
Wow, well, we really appreciate that. We're honored to have you here.
Thank
Do you have any words for people who might be maybe struggling now? Any words of inspiration, encouragement?
Yeah, I would say, you know, there's a couple of things. One is you have time. You don't have to jump in and make a decision without doing your research. You really have some time and space to look into what might be the best way for you. And the other thing is to really trust your intuition and listen to what your body tells you. You know, so often we're doing something that doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right to you, there's probably a reason you shouldn't be doing. And if your body is sending you a message, just honor it, because it's really probably coming from some place that you really need to tap into and listen to a little bit deeper.
My name is Jessica Custer.
All right, so just tell me how you feel right now after your interview, your feelings right now about the truth about cancer, your overall experience today, you know, your reaction to the goings on.
Okay, so obviously I love the truth about cancer, or I wouldn't be here. It's great, and it is an amazing resource for people to know that there's another alternative out there other than what we're traditionally only subjected to. So it's been good. I mean, the video was fun. I think I rambled a little bit, like I'm doing a bit now, but they kept me on track. They did a pretty good job of keeping me on track, and it's beautiful here. I'm just glad they're doing what they're doing, honestly, because more people need this information. We have tons and tons of different ways we're getting exposed to Western medicine, and that's not all there is. And so with this going on with the animals and the supplements and everything, and being on the internet and having summits and stuff like that, I think it's incredible. I try to share it as much as I can with people. That's just the problem. Nobody knows. That nobody I know knows about it, or is even comfortable yet with natural homeopathic stuff. Everybody's still trying to do the same, what my doctor tells me to do, and that's not always a good thing.
Well, what would you have a few quick words of wisdom for someone who's maybe at the crossroads between alternative and conventional? What would you say to someone who's maybe struggling right now with the very question that you've faced in the past?
You know, I would say alternative, but I also understand that everybody has to do their own thing and what's right for them. There are some combinations of Western medicine procedures that, in combination with natural homeopathic stuff, work well. So I think you need to listen to your body, listen to what sounds good to you, what resonates to you. But I definitely think you need to get still and calm and think about it and figure out what's right for you. Just because there's so much out there, so much available, do what you want to do. But I definitely think that in my situation, honestly, hindsight, I mean, I am where I am for a reason, but I also think if I had the opportunity to guide somebody else through it again, I wouldn't do any of the Western medicine that I did, which was just the reconstruction, you know, double mastectomy with reconstruction. I didn't even do tamoxifen. they wanted me to take tamoxifen for 5 years, and I didn't. I wasn't going to. So I guess I didn't do that part of it. I would say just learn about it and listen to people who have been through it, and then see what resonates with you.
So my name is Leanna Long, and I just got finished with my interview. And this has overall been a very great experience. It's really nice to connect with other people who have chosen to take a more natural approach to treatment, and be able to share my story to inspire others to look outside of the box as far as when it comes to treatment. It can be a very scary, fearful place, especially at the beginning when you're diagnosed. But I'm very passionate about sharing my story so that others can take a look at what the other options are, and hopefully make choices that feel right to them, and instead of making choices that are out of fear. It's been lovely coming here to Ty and Charlene's home and meeting all of their children and being welcomed like family. I really feel grateful to have this experience, and I'm really excited to, be able to impact other people's lives in this way.
Well, thank you. We're so glad to have impacted your life this way. So your interview and how it affected you personally and your experience today so far?
Well, let me first of all say that I am so honored to be here.
We're honored to have you here.
It has been such a blessing to be here and to be among the people, and then to share my story. And everybody has a story to tell, and this is my story. And so I was just blessed to be able to share that story. And that along the way of my journey with cancer, I came across the truth about cancer, and it has been a wonderful source of affirmation and confirmation for me. I was doing a number of things. I had already chosen to take an alternative path, and so when I came across the truth about cancer, they just confirmed and affirmed that I was going in the right direction, and that it was working for me, and that it has been a great source of inspiration as well as education for me, that I've learned so much, and also I've been so inspired by the people that I've come in contact with who have great stories, great testimonies of what is possible in terms of dealing with the whole issue of cancer. And the truth about cancer makes known the reality that it is the truth that makes you free. And so it just broadens your whole array of options. And it is so encouraging. It is so encouraging and so supportive to be here. And so I'm just thrilled that I've been asked to be a part of the truth about cancer.